Welcome. When you visit a friend or a relative, they often get pleased to hear that you are an astrologer and as a result provide you the horoscope of practically every member of the family to analyze. Now, among the various queries that they have, one of the most frequent queries is, who in our family is the luckiest? Which family member, considering various kind of a competition, has the best horoscope? Now it could become very tiring and tedious to look up each family member's horoscope. Fortunately, KP Horary could be very helpful and save you a lot of time in these kind of situations. That is what I intend to discuss with an example horoscope in this video. A typical family could consist of my wife, mother, father, daughter, or son. When I say wife, it means spouse, it could be husband. And the possible questions could be, let me write down some of the possible questions that I usually get. Who in our family is the luckiest when it comes to lotteries, lotto, gambling, playing cards, betting? This is one of the very popular questions. Second is when the family members they plan to visit a casino, just a fun visit. Then also there is this question, who in our family will be the luckiest? Once in a while, this kind of a question could take some serious note also, like who might be the luckiest nominee among our family members as we decide to make some short-term investments in the next month. Head of the family deciding to invest in gold, bonds, stock. This is a short-term investment, and they want to find out the name of the nominee, the among the family members that could prove to be the most lucky. In Krishnamurti Paddhati, the KP astrology, the fifth house indicates the mind to speculate. People who are fond of gambling, betting, those kind of things, or the urge or the desire to buy a lottery or to bet, all comes from the fifth house. But we are not going to discuss the fifth house over here. We are just going to focus on the most important houses in Krishnamurti Paddhati that usually indicates a winning combination. So what are those houses? Those are 2, 6 and 11. So this house grouping in Krishnamurti Paddhati is a winning combination. And now this combination could take various forms. For example, 2, 6, or it could be 6, 11, or it could be 2, 11. Now there is each of this combination is good, but there is a slight difference that you might want to make a note of. The 2, 6 also indicates the inflow of money, but this combination usually indicates money through some debt, through some loan or through some debts. 6, 11 is also a very good winning combination, but it indicates that there was some litigation or some that kind of a court related affair where the person is going to come out successful. 211 is a very good combination because 211 is just a pure fortune, I would say. It is a inflow of money like a bolt out of blue. But since these questions are about lottery, winning, investment, so there is some competition involved. For this reason, this combination 2, 6, 11 is what we have to consider. In the example also, we will just focus on these three houses 2, 6 and 11. So now let's navigate to Jyotish portal where we are going to generate a horary chart. When you navigate to the Jyotish portal, then you have to click on this drop down to select the horary option. It has the horary and the birth chart and the horary both are there. Horary KP 1 to 249, that is what you will get on the Jyotish portal. Another thing that I have mentioned earlier also is to get a random number from the questionnaire. It's always a good idea to motivate and encourage the questionnaire to provide a random number. I know there are some practical issues, but as you get into more practical exercise in the KP horary, you will realize that the random number is what is the best option. So you have to find ways to assess the questionnaire to obtain or provide a random number. So that's the first thing. A few notes for KP beginners who may be watching this video. KP horary differs from Parashari Prashna Kundali in the initial steps. So keep some of the points in mind. I'm going to share those points, especially for the KP beginners. Point number 1. The KP horary does not use the questionnaires date, time or query location. This is a very drastic departure from the Parashari way of preparing a Prashna Kundi. In the Parashari method, when a questionnaire is puts a query to the astrologer, then that particular date, time and place is used to generate a query chart. But in KP horary, the questionnaires date, time or query location is not used. So this is a very important difference in the KP query system. Second is the day means the date, time and location where the astrologer decides to begin the work are used. Not the date, time and place provided by the questionnaire, but the date, time and place when the astrologer decided to start analyzing the query chart. So that is very important. Now let me make this point very clear because there is often some confusion. So this question, let's say this question was put before an astrologer. The questionnaire was in Mumbai and the query date and time was 14th August 10:30 a.m. But if you look at the date and time and the place that is used or that we are going to use to generate this query chart, so you see it is 18th of August 2024. Time is also different and the place is also different. So this data is when the astrologer decided to sit down and analyze the chart. The query date was 14th August, but the astrologer could get the time only on 18th August. So this data is used to generate the query chart. So these are 2 or 3 very important points that a KP beginner must make a note of. This is our horary chart for number 2, 3, 4. And the question is about the luckiest member of the family. This is just one horoscope. From one horoscope, we are going to figure it out which member of the family is the luckiest. Now, we spoke about various family members like wife, mother, father, daughter, or son. So we will have to use what is called as the chart rotation. Let me explain you that. So all these relation we have to identify from one chart only. So myself, myself is ascendant, and then mother is fourth, father is ninth house. Mother is seen from the fourth, father is from the ninth house. This is very important for you to remember that Sri Krishnamurti has mentioned that mother has to be seen from fourth and father has to be seen from ninth. He has pointed out that some of the astrologers, they tend to use the 10th house for the father. It looks logical, but Shri KSK has mentioned that always use fourth for the mother and the ninth for the father. Now the wife or the husband or the spouse, that is seen from the 7th house. But the 7th house has some more relations. For example, wife or husband are seen from the 7th house. Second child is also seen from the 2nd house. Then if you have a business partner, that is also seen from the 7th house. And then a stranger, which means just about anyone in the world with whom you are interacting, is also seen from the 7th house. So obviously now the question is that how do you distinguish between the wife or husband, second child, or partner, or a stranger? So I'll explain you that. Professor Krishnamurti has explained that in one of his articles. So I'm going to explain that with you. But for each of these relationship, we have to rotate this chart. So right now I'll just, we'll just do it for myself, father, and the 7th house, which usually indicates the spouse, husband or wife. So once you understand these three rotation, and then you can figure out the rest of the rotation as well. Before we start analyzing the query chart, let's make a note of this point Because of the nature of query, the retrograde is not considered, and the RP, the ruling planets, are not considered. The query is of different nature, so the retrograde and RP both are not considered. In KP horary, the retrograde and RP, they play a major role. But since the query is of a different nature, so we are not going to focus on the retrograde and the ruling planet. So we are going to find the strongest for the houses 2, 6 and 11 from ascendant, that represents the questionnaire. Then we are going to rotate the chart on the 7th cusp, that indicates the spouse, and then the 9th house, 9th cusp, that indicates the father. Let's look at the strongest 2, 6 and 11. The 2, 6 and 11 strongest from the ascendant. So we will scan this planet signification table, and we will also scan the signification table from the cusp point of view. So it's the same layout, just in a different way. So for second, we find that we look here, we find Mars. And Mars here, we find it is untenanted. So Mars is very strong. So we can say Mars is very strong. Let's also take a look at the sublord of the Mars. So we see that the sublord is also benefic. It is positive. At the sublord level, the bad combination, let me write here, bad combination, and here we are talking about the winning in competition, betting, lottery, speculation, that kind of a thing. Bad combination at sublord level. So the 12, 8, this is bad. 12, 6, this is also bad. 8, 6 is also bad. 12, 4, this is also bad. You see all these combination at the sublord level. Even if a planet is showing a good positive result at the star lord level, but if at the sub level it is showing these negative combination, then 5, 8, 5, 12, all these combinations are bad. So when we are identifying the strongest of 2, 6, 11, then we have to also keep an eye on the sublord, and then we have to figure it out that if there is a approval from the sublord or not. So in Krishnamurti Paddhati, 6 houses are good for you, 6 houses are bad for you. So any combination, the bad houses like 4, 5, 7, 9, 12, right? These are the 8, these are the bad houses. So the combination of these at the sublord level is will not be in favor of the person. So at the sub level, these combination, and there could be more also. So, but I've given you an idea. So for second, Mars is good from the ascendant. Now if you look from the 6th house, the 6th house has many significators. If you look here, you see Venus, Sun, Mercury, Moon, Jupiter, pretty much all 6, 7 planets are very strong. So let's quickly look at some of these sublords and see what are really bad. So Venus seems to be good because it has the 11th in the at the sublord level. 12th house does indicate some issue, but since it has 6 and 11 combination, so it is good. So Venus is good. And then Venus is also untenanted. If you look at this, the Venus is very powerful. It is untenanted also. The Venus is also causing a Vipreet Rajyog. In one of my videos, I have explained that, but I'm not going to get into that Vipreet Rajyog. It's going to cause some confusion here, but Venus is good. And then if we look at the Sun, now the 6-8 combination might not be good at the sublord level. So let's leave Sun. And then Moon. Moon is actually very good. If you look at Moon, it's not only very positive, it also indicates the 5th. So which usually indicate the mind to speculate or gamble or invest, those kind of a thing. So Moon is also good. So for 6th, we will write Moon. And then the Mars we've already taken, and Rahu is indicating 11, 10 both. Rahu is also, if you look, very strong. So Rahu is also there. And then the Jupiter is also is very nice, very strong. So a lot of these planets, if you look at, they are Mercury we can omit because Mercury at sublord level might not be as promising. So Venus is good, Moon is good, Rahu is good, and Jupiter is good. I'll let you know how to further filter from this list. And then if we look at the 11th, then we find that the Moon for 11th. A lot of planets are indicating the 11th house. Moon, we have already seen Moon is good here also for the 6th. For the 11th also, Moon is good. Then the Jupiter is also indicating. So let's take Jupiter also. So all these planets are good for 2, 6 and 11. If you generally look at each of these planets from the ascendant, this planet signification, the cusp significator, this, if you slowly go through each of the planets, they all look quite strong. Another thing is that you have to at the same time look at, the dasha also. Sometime when the question is about short-term gains and all that, then things are going to happen on the dasha timeline. So it's a good idea to look at the dasha also. Now, if you look at dasha, so then this person or the questionnaire will be going through the Moon Jupiter period. So we have seen that Moon and Jupiter both are very good. They all look promising. So we have to at this point just make a note that the from the ascendant, which represents the questionnaire, the everything looks positive. So now we are going to rotate this whole chart on the 7th axis, which represents the spouse or the second child or the partner, and then we will look from that point also. Now, when you are rotating this the chart, then in the Jyotish portal you will find that there is a flag that indicates whether this particular chart has been rotated or not. Right now there is no rotation. So let's rotate it on the 7th axis and see what happens. So we are going to edit the chart, and from here we are going to select from this option over here, we are going to select the 7th. Now this has been rotated on the 7th axis, the cusp chart. So now it has started representing the wife, husband, or the spouse, and then the second child, and then the business partner, and or the stranger, any other person with whom one is going to interact. Same thing we are going to do over here, the 2, 6, and 11. If you look at the overall signification, planet signification, and the same layout here. So then at the sublord level, just focus on the sublord level. You see these sublords are not very promising. The 9, 4, 7, this combination is not good. 6, 5 is also not good. 12 to 9 is also not good. So you see all these combinations are bad at the sublord level. And some of the planets that we identified for the questionnaire, like Mars, Venus, Moon, and if you look at, let's say, if you look at Venus, now Venus signification over here is bad. It is not good. So Venus from the 7th house perspective becomes bad, becomes weak. So each of these planets you can compare the way I showed you, and then you can reach a conclusion that for the wife or for the husband, spouse, that's what I mean, and for the second child and for the business partner or stranger, this horoscope is not good. Now the question is, suppose you are visiting a relative or a friend and they have the second child. So how do you now distinguish between and they also have let's say a business partner, and they are planning to buy some short-term stock, and they want to figure it out whether the nominee should be the spouse or the second child, let's say is not a minor, grown-up second child, and the business partner. So in that case, the process is this, that you have to, let's assume that 7th house is showing winning. Okay. Then you have to note down this, the 7th cusp. So what is the 7th cusp? Sorry, the first cusp, which indicates the rotated chart person. So that becomes, so now if you look at the combination, Virgo is Mercury. So if any relation or person that is depicted by the 7th house, that seems to be their strongest, then you have to look at the ruling planet of that person. So suppose the wife's ruling planet, and what are the ruling planet? Ruling planet are in the spouse chart. I'll just give you one example. In the spouse chart, you have to look at the ascendant star lord, and then you have to look at the ascendant sign lord, and then you have to look at the moon star lord, moon sign lord, and the day lord. So you get these 5 planets. Now out of that, if you find that at least 3 are matching out of the 5 ruling planets, whose ruling planet? The spouse chart. You have to look at the horoscope, because now you have an additional task of figuring it out whether the nominee for the stock should be the spouse, second child, partner, or the stranger. So now you have to take this combination Mercury, Sun, Ketu, and you know how we got this combination. This indicates the seventh cusp, and then we have to match this with the horoscope and see if two or three, whatever maximum planets are matching or not. I think out of five, at least three should match. You will get five planets, and out of that, three should match. Similarly, then you have to match with the horoscope of the second child. So if with the spouse it is not matching, then you have to check with the second child whether it is matching or not. Let's say it is not matching, and if you have access to your partner's horoscope, then you have to look at the partner's horoscope and see if the ruling planets are matching or not. The ruling planet in partner's horoscope are matching with this combination. So if any of these are matching, then you can identify that okay, this particular person is the right one to to be selected for the nominee purpose. But suppose it is not matching with anyone. It's not matching with the spouse or the second child or the the partner. In that and seventh house and when you were comparing the winning strength among the first, seventh, and the other houses, then you found that seventh house is the strongest. But none of these ruling planets are matching. In that case, if whatever the bet competition is, it is some stranger that is going to win, because seventh house also indicates a stranger. So this is how you have to distinguish between the various relations shown by one single cusp. Now let's quickly look at the ninth. So we are going to rotate this on the ninth. Now you get this with the ninth. Ninth represents the father. Same process you have to do. The 2, 6, and 11. And look at the planet signification and the cusp significator. Same layout, but just a different way of saying the same thing. Here also, if you see, then you will find that it is not as strong as the questioner's own chart. That means when we were looking from the ascendant, the very first cusp. And then and if you look at the dasha also, so you find that the moon dasha, moon is not very positive, and especially at the sublord level, 5, 7 is not a good combination. Similarly, if you look at the Jupiter, then also you see that 2 and 11, they are all missing. So now we studied from the first, we studied from the seventh, and we studied from the ninth. So we can now reach a conclusion that the strongest is in the family is the questioner himself or herself. Let's reset to the ascendant, and now we can confidently, very boldly, and with a lot of confidence, we can declare that that based on the horary analysis, it is very clear that the questionnaire himself or herself has the strongest combination, and whatever betting or the investment in stocks, short term, all these things are coming up, then it is going to be profitable for the questionnaire amongst all the family members. And Dasha is also very favorable. So this is how you can, just by using one single horoscope, you can predict and analyze that who has the strongest luck in the entire family. Now, in my next video, I'm going to address these issues. I try my best why I am such a loser, and how do you deal with the feeling of being a loser. A lot many times I get these kind of emails where somebody is feeling low or somebody is feeling down. And since this has to do a lot with these combinations in the Krishnamurti Paddhati, so I thought that let me discuss one. But in the next video, I will not do a horary, but I will take a birth chart. And then based on that, we will identify why this feeling of being a loser pops up and what one could do to feel motivated and positive in life. So that's all in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks for watching.